to finding calm in the chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. You know who I am, friends. Oh my gosh. I've got so much stuff that has just been redone in the last 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with 2 weeks just because we got to pick something, right? So first, I finally believe important stuff that we're starting off with. First thing we're going to talk about is I'm finally, I think, coming out of this almost month-long lupus and RA flare, which in turn triggered my mesenteric paniculitis, which I have not had a flare for, I think it's like 12 years. And I was hospitalized for 5 days with that flare. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to the hospital for pain meds because that's all they can do for you, right? All you can do is amend your diet and just deal. So that's what I did. And it's slowly subsiding. I feel a lot better mesenteric wise today. So the MP is winding out. It looks like the lupus is kind of winding down as well, but my RA is holding in there because it's all of my joint stuff that's a problem right now. But I'm feeling much better than I was. I'm not even at 80% of what I normally feel like, but this is way better than the crap I was at. There's that. So thank you all for your well wishes and all of the messages that I get sent to periodically. And I wanted to know that you guys to know that I appreciate that. So another thing. So we're doing another pivot with the diet. Like I cannot. So this is the thing. I don't like to use the D word, right? Diet. I like to use lifestyle change, and I'm not backing away from plant-based, but I am incorporating and melding into a predominantly large plant-based lifestyle with Mediterranean influence because my body is craving certain things, and I've been researching, and when I do eat that as the days that I do any meat or animal related products, I'm finding that I feel better than when I don't. What I have decided that I need to do is to stop convincing myself that I can do any dairy. Like I ordered a coffee the other day and I forgot to say no dairy to do oat milk, and boom, I got hammered. And can I just tell you, I know everybody's going to have something to say about oat milk, almond milk, coconut milk, whatever. Everybody's got something to say about something. I'm not opposed to dairy milk. I actually loved raw milk when we had access to it. Currently in my state, it is very difficult to obtain it. And there is a new generation of people who feel like it is the golden mother lode, which sometimes it is. Okay. And so it's really hard to get access to it. I have access to farm milk that is not homogenized and lightly pasteurized, and it still has benefits. And so I get that for Pete. So, and he only uses it in cereal. It's very rare. Like once in a while, he'll ask for a glass of milk and then drinks like 3 drinks out of it, and then I got to dump it. So there's that. But I do oat milk. I prefer it. I think it is creamier and nicer in what I use it in, and which is usually just coffee or like smoothies or shakes or something, right? But I will tell you that I was very disturbed because I'm trying to reduce my oil usage of any sort. And when I do use oil, I only use olive oil and avocado oil. And it has to be packaged a certain way, and it has to be packaged within a certain country, if that makes sense, or region. I have talked about this in the past. Go look for that. If not, just do some research or reach out to me personally. I don't want to make this episode about that. But I called this ironically the simple plan because there is nothing simple about lifestyle adjustments. However, it can be simple if you just get out of your own head and you make the adjustment. So for me, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I've been plateauing for so long, my friends, that I don't know what's going on. And so I actually had to recently, I started a reset this week, and I use certain products for that. No, they're not MLM. Anybody can purchase them. They are vegan. They are, non-GMO, organic. So I use a company that provides me with that. And then I put them together, and then I eat a meal a day. I am finally starting to feel better, I think, because of this. So I'm hoping that's a reset. It's only for 5 days, and then I'm going to back that up immediately. I'm going to start doing a special juicing regimen in the morning. Twofold, I did this for 2 reasons. Number one, to help me get out of this weird flare I've been in that has jacked up all 3 of my autoimmune diseases. But number 2, to see if I can push myself out of this plateau. I also adjusted my supplementation, meaning I didn't change my supplement. I'm still using the same company. I'm still using, again, not MLM. It's a regular company. And they're fermented, and I've never gone wrong with them. So I still take the same multivitamin. I still take remember we talked about I was having hormone issues because I'm postmenopausal. So I started taking an estrogen, like natural plant-based estrogen replacement. I didn't know if it would work for me. It won't work for everyone. Thankfully, by the grace of God, it's working for me. So the night sweats are gone. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, and this drug. Or these supplements, I should say. And then I actually added something on. And so I added a bone density, and these are all plant-based supplementation. If you want to know, again, reach out to me. I'll give you stuff. I'm not I don't get any money from them. I don't whatever. I got regular discounts regular people would get if you signed up to get them. I don't even know that I get them through that. But if I did and you want them, I'll give it to you. There's that. So it can be a simple plan, but you really just need to start over. Just start, adjust, redo. Don't get discouraged. I didn't get discouraged. I just thought, let me dig a little deeper and find out where I need to adjust stuff. Okay. But literally modern society as a whole is making getting healthy super hard. And it shouldn't be this hard at all. It really should be minimal effort to get healthy. But we've convinced ourselves in our minds that we can't do certain stuff, right? And in reality, what are we doing today? We're balancing work, we're balancing family, kids, whatever responsibilities, right? But the one thing we never ever put first in our balancing is health goals. We always put them to the side. I am raising all my 2 hands because I am a huge proponent of this in the past, and not for a good reason. Proponent's probably not, because that's for it. I am a huge example of this, okay? Putting my health needs on hold and as an excuse using everything around me, like life, right? Because life happens, right? Sometimes you're super busy, sometimes you're not. And then you're like, well, I'm too busy. I can't do this. Well, if you don't do for you, you can't do for anyone else. So what are you waiting for? Right? Plus, I just found out that I had to join the parent group of the class of 2034. 2034. And the first thing that popped in my head was, God, I hope I'm alive. And then I thought, why would I think that? Why am I thinking that? I went immediately to, holy crap, I hope I'm alive. I can be alive. And not only am I going to be alive, I want to be in the best shape that I can be in. Okay. Healthy does not have to be difficult. Okay. It can take minimum effort, but we have to erase the bad habits with good habits. We have to get out of our own minds. So a lot of times you guys come to me and you're like, oh, I don't eat those, Denise. I don't, I wish I could. What do you mean you wish? Unless you eat something and it physically closes your throat and you have an allergic reaction and have to go to the emergency room, that's on you. You can eat that. And I always have methodologies behind that. I think 100% that most people who do not like certain foods have had it made wrong, ill prepared, or just ate it from a bad chef. And that could be your mom. Don't send me an email. Not everybody's moms can cook, especially depending on what generation you came from. Sometimes your moms might not cook at all. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your moms or your families cook things that were totally bad for you. How do you know that? Look at your family. Are they all in peak condition? I can tell you mine are not. So what did I do? I didn't want to drink because I didn't want to wind up like my father. I didn't want to smoke ever because I didn't want to wind up like my mother. And I need to get my weight under control because I want to live for my son. You know what I'm saying? So stop making excuses for yourself and put yourself first. And we're going to talk about some easy ways that are simple, a simple plan that you can just initiate a little bit every day in helping it out. Because y'all are always asking for me for this information. So I'm putting it all in one podcast. I almost said email because I just sent an email to someone asking me for this advice. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give you a few little tips to start out with, but I'm going to do a podcast and I promise you it'll be out in August. So, I did that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to fill half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables. Listen to the key word there, non-starchy. So I'm not a fan of starchy stuff. It bloats me, but I'm not allergic to it. I'm not whatever. Just my body would prefer not to have that as its first form of nutrition. So fill half of your plate with starchy vegetables. Now, don't take my words virtually here, okay? But I'm going to describe some stuff. Vegetables are classified loosely, okay, as starchy and non-starchy, okay? Starchy vegetables usually have more carbs and calories, and non-starchy vegetables less, okay? A starchy vegetable is corn, potatoes, navy beans, specifically navy beans, super starchy, okay? Non-starchy vegetable, okay? Dark green leafy vegetables, because everybody must be eating them. They're so good for you. And people are like, I can't do that. We're talking spinach, collards, kale, but they all have to be made a certain way. You know what I mean? Mustard greens, stuff like that. And then carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, stuff like that. Okay. Then fill half of your plate. And that's really an easy way to just make your food plate healthier immediately. They're low in calories. They are packed in nutrients. They've got fiber and they've got water. All right. So you're killing all those things at once. Okay. If you replace some of the starch and the protein of your meals with non-starchy vegetables, you can still eat the same amount of food, but you're going to lower your caloric count. All right. That's pretty easy strategy right there. Okay. And it'll save you the whole I'm worrying about serving sizes and calories. Yeah. In America, we have no idea what a serving size is at all. We suffer greatly from that. So if you don't eat veggies, juice them. You can drink them. You can blend them. Okay. Daily Harvest blends their fruits and veggies. You can make smoothies. You can get a juicer and juice them. Because I'm telling you, any form of ingesting is going to be way better. But if you take and fill half a plate with the vegetables you want to eat, and then you juice them all and you put them in, throw an apple in your juicer with all those vegetables, it's just going to be a sweet green drink. Boom. And you're going to probably have more nutrition in that one glass of juice than you probably had in the last year, 2, 3, 4, maybe decade of your life. There's that. So that is number one. Number two, Eat from a smaller plate and bowl. Now, people think this is a joke, but I'm telling you, in America, we are largely programmed to not understand what a portion is. And then when someone gives you a portion, it's like, oh my God, it was just this tiny little bit of it. Just know that a serving of protein, meaning meat, pork, chicken, should be no larger than a deck of cards. I'm not even joking. Everybody from America, for all my worldly listeners, because I'm listened in 52 countries. Okay. Yay for me. But everybody in every country except for America just was like, oh my God. Are you crazy, Denise? Yeah. Because we have been supersized, ultra sized, Route 22 sized, and nobody knows. Everyone's like, what's a Route 22 size? If you live anywhere where there's a Sonic drive-through, you understand Route 22. So that just means it's like picture Big Gulp, but bigger. And if you don't know Big Gulp, just Google 7-Eleven and you'll figure it out. For all my European friends. Eat from a smaller plate in a bowl, because believe it or not, the size of your plate affects how much you eat. It's completely psychological, visibly. Okay. There was a study where scientists found that people who ate from large serving bowls, okay, ate 56% more food than people who ate from smaller bowls. Now, you know how like when you buy dishes, they have big plates and little plates and, you know, big soup bowls and then little bowls and or cups. And you're like, what is this for? Okay. Those are the ones you're going to eat out of. It will drastically change. And a serving fits of all of that. Sometimes I'll just use a little plate, you know, when I'm really I'm not eating meat right now. So rarely I'm doing it, but so I'm using the Green Chef dinners right now because they're organic, non-GMO, all that, right? I need to go like straight in, and I'm sticking with Mediterranean. And I will tell you that there is a significant difference in the portion sizes, just even comparing it to like Marley Spoon, HelloFresh. There's even a difference there. They're very accurate proportions that you would need. And so I like that. But scientists have found, like in these studies, okay, there was an analysis of 72 of those portion serving studies. So 72 studies, the analysis of those 17 studies scientists found that people consistently ate more food when offered larger portions and plates. So if you go to a fast food restaurant and you can get a regular or you can supersize it, we will almost always consistently supersize it. It's like we feel we're getting more or whatever, but in actuality, we're just overloading our bodies with garbage. But the simple illusion of eating from a smaller plate can help you feel satisfied with less food, because you ate everything on your plate. And you can also pile it up a little, because you're going to do half of your plate in veggies, like we just talked about in one, and it's going to be like abounding on this small plate. You're going to eat so much more. I will tell you, when you eat plant-based, you get to eat so much more food during the day, and it's all just pure fuel for your body. No garbage. Okay, number 3, you're going to swap refined carbs for whole unprocessed carbs. I know all the keto people are flipping the hell out right now, but y'all know I hate keto. Keto's a fad. I said it again. I said it in the past, and I'll continue to say it. Refined carbs are known as simple carbs or empty carbs, right? They're super processed. They're stripped of any nutrient or any fiber. And all it does is add extra calories to your diet with zero nutritional benefit. That is not me hating on keto or carbs. That is, or for people who hate carbs, I'm not selling carbs. They are good for you. Okay. So what are examples of crappy carbs? All right. White flour, white bread, white rice. I'm going to keep saying that again. Okay. White, white, white. Stop eating white bread that is in a plastic bag that you can literally smush into a ball and it stays that way. That's gross. Okay. Your bread doesn't do that. Not to mention, okay, when you eat a diet rich in refined carbs, it increases your risk of chronic disease. Okay? This is a direct core. These are scientific studies. Okay? These are not me just making it up. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, top 2. Okay? So the more you eat of that, those what you are at risk of. How do I know? Both of my parents have those. Okay? And they both grew up in an era where all they ate was white flour, white bread, and white rice. That's generational right there. It's disgusting. Just please stop. They ruin our food here in America. So you really have to kind of think a little bit more unless you live outside of it. So if you choose whole unprocessed carbs, okay, so I like to stick with ancient grains, okay, it will let you eat the foods that you normally eat, but with added benefits, fiber, vitamins, minerals, other nutrients, okay? Stick with the ancient grains. And if you're on keto and you still think it's good for you and you have been doing it for more than 4 years, you need to start eating grains, especially ancient grains. All right, number 4, add fruit to your morning routine. Okay, so a lot of people, there's so much stuff going around today about, oh, eat fruit, don't eat fruit in the morning, but you should eat fruit in the morning. Don't eat fruit juice that should only be eaten whole. What is going on? Here's the thing. If people want to get into that, I used to be there. I went down that rabbit hole, okay? Just worry about eating the damn food. Don't worry about how it's eaten, what time of the day. If you are currently have potato chips, Doritos, Fritos, Takis, Oreos, if you currently have these in your life, any addition and extraction of those items are going to make you a healthier person. Don't sweat it. Again, this is the simple plan. All right. Fruit is a great way to add color and flavor to your morning. Juice it, smoothie it, put it on ancient grain oats, steel cut oats, organic, please. Okay, non-GMO, because they ruin our oats as well here. Fruit is loaded with vitamins and minerals, okay, that are essential, like not just like a random vitamins and minerals. They're essential for optimal health. They got fiber, they have water that help you stay fuller for longer. If you have fruit in the morning, I drink it in my daily harvest shakes, okay? It helps you maintain a fullness. You don't need a pill for that or some coffee drink or some MLM product. You can literally do that for fractions of the penny of what you're paying for products that people are toting, snake oils, when you could just add fruit. Okay, it's a great source of polyphenols. Okay, so polyphenols are compounds that contribute to the health benefits of like fruits and vegetables. Okay, they're very good for you. They are antioxidants in the body, which antioxidants help fight inflammation. And polyphenols, there have been studies that polyphenols also reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and early death. So just incorporating a healthy breakfast routine, right? They used to say that with the Kellogg's commercials and stuff, and to say, but Kellogg's is poison. Sorry, I said it. I don't really give a shit. That's just my opinion. So Kellogg's doesn't have a stroke. They like to get real mad when people call them out on stuff. But General Mills, all that stuff, anything you can find in the cereal aisle, unless it's like the cereal that Peter does eat is not even the protein in it's got pea protein in it. It's non-GMO. It's usually vegan. They're there. And your kids can get used to not having all that sugar and high fructose corn syrup if you just assimilate it over. Are they going to fight and argue and do all that about how they're not going to eat it? Yeah. Yeah, because they're going from eating pure sugar, going through withdrawals, and then you're feeding them something that's healthy. That's a taste bud issue, right? They have to redevelop a taste for food. Okay. And that's okay. They have to go through that process, but you also have to stick to your guns. And adults need to do that too. When we're eating all of this garbage and then we're trying new things, our taste buds have been programmed to like sugar, salt, garbage, MSG, things that are tricking our minds into what it wants. Okay, it wants this. And then you eat like a regular green bean, right? And then you're like, I don't know about that. It just tastes funny. It doesn't taste funny. They're actually quite good. If they're roasted with a little extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, little garlic salt, or maybe fresh garlic, they're amazing. But you can't get that. You have to go through the trial of readjusting your taste buds if you eat a predominantly large, crappy diet. So there was a study with 7,447 participants that found that people who ate the most polyphenols had a lower risk of early death than people who ate less polyphenols. Here's me. I'm all about that right now. Give me the fruit. Where's the fruit? That's how I feel. Okay, I'm looking across the street and they have a landscaping crew here. So hopefully it's not you can't hear that. Number 5, eat fatty fish often. Now this is going to be like a fine liner because it's hard, but fatty fish like salmon are some of literally the most nutritious foods on the planet. They're an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids, which is a type of essential fat that you can only get from the diet, okay? And despite how important omega-3s are, very few people in Western countries eat enough omega-3 fatty acids. We love salmon. However, sourcing salmon is a whole nother idea, okay? Farm salmon is gaga, okay? That's a no. You want wild salmon, but you also got, to me, this is the simple plan. Find some wild salmon, do the best you can. Don't worry about all the practices and farming and what it does and what farming salmon is doing to wild salmon. You just got to erase it all. Go with the simple plan and take out the noise, right? Because research has shown that people who consistently eat the most omega-3 fatty acids will have a lower risk of heart disease, less chronic inflammation, and better mental health. Because omega-3s are awesome for mental health, okay? Fatty fish are a great source of B vitamins, okay? And the B vitamins are the ones that help the body make energy, they repair DNA, they maintain healthy brain and nerve functions, and all of the good stuff, right? You should eat at least 2 servings of fatty fish a week. The ones that everybody eat, the top 3 fatty fishes would be salmon, mackerel, and herring. So those are the top 3. We like all of them. I know a lot of people, when they think of mackerel and herring, they think of pickled or creamed, which is very European. They could be just regular mackerel and herring or smoked, right? Do smoke like a lox or a smoked mackerel or a smoked herring, right? Throw them in a shake. I know this sounds crazy. Back in the day, I would do liver shakes, okay? Because it helped out with my lupus and stuff. That's a long story. But seriously, if you take like a little herring, like say you buy the herrings in like water or oil in the little cans, the little sardine can looking things, and you throw even a couple of those, look and see what a serving is on the little can. So maybe it's like 4. They're little, right? Whatever, little pieces. You take those, toss them into a huge smoothie. You won't even know. There might be a little side, aftertaste or whatnot, but would you rather eat the fish? To me, I'd rather just eat it. Or that's a way to disguise it. Simple as that. You got to do what you got to do, right? 6, consider certain supplements. So whole foods are typically the preferred way to meet your nutritional needs. But there are some people, foods, whole foods, again, not garbage, not synthetic, not processed. It's not in a package. You're making it. It's in its whole form from the ground or animal. They will have a variety of nutrients that have like synergy together. Okay. They will help deliver most of their nutritional benefits themselves. But there are a lot of people who struggle to meet daily nutritional needs through foods alone. Okay. Allergies or whatnot. Okay. Autoimmune, some sort of sickness, that's where supplements can come in handy. Okay. Because they'll provide you with a dose of nutrients, but in a convenient package. Okay. And especially useful, soluble fiber fish oil. That's the biggest thing missing out of the Western diet. Soluble fiber supplements like glucomannan. I don't know. Some people might even know what that is, but with my background, they can help you stay fuller for longer, keep you regular, right? You're pooping on time. I'm still shocked at how many people don't poop every day. They reduce your blood sugar and they lower blood cholesterol, which is good. So fish oil supplements can give you great dosages of omega-3, just like the fatty fish they can. So if you need a dose of that, I can give you a company that has reliable. Again, not all supplements are created equal. Okay. There's a small portion of stuff out there. You want to make sure that they're sustainable company, fermented, they're in their natural form. They are not synthetic. They are organic. They are non-GMO. I personally prefer, vegan, but when obviously you're doing omegas and stuff like that, you're not, but you want clean sources of where that fish is coming from. And they will state that on the website. Do not order supplements from an MLM, period. All right. Number 7, drink green tea. Okay. I used to not like green tea. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like it. This could be a long episode, just so you guys know, since I had 2 short episodes last week. I'm giving it to y'all this week. Green tea is one of the healthiest beverages you can drink. Period. Right? Period. It's low in calories, packed with plenty of nutrients and antioxidants. Those antioxidants are the ones that can help the body fight free radicals. Okay. Molecules. So what are some people sometimes ask, free radicals. What are free radicals? Are molecules within the body that have been shown to increase disease risk and speed aging. Okay. Nobody wants to age. Make sure that you have antioxidants. Okay. Studies have also shown that people who drink the most green tea tend to live longer. Here's me. Give me the green tea. They also have a lower risk of heart disease and a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Green tea also contains EGCG. I'm going to try to say this, guys. I can never I think it's epigallocatechin gallate. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. EGCG is all you need to know. ECGC are compounds, okay, that help you burn fat by boosting metabolism. But green tea also has caffeine in it as well. So it's a nice source in lieu of coffee. If you can't do coffee, that also will help you boost metabolism. Okay, there's that. It's literally one of the healthiest beverages that you can drink because it's low in calories, rich in nutrients and antioxidants, but has impressive health benefits, right? I mean, that's insane. I'd try it. 8, have your coffee black. People, I struggle with this. Oh my God. Because it's not a secret that people love coffee. Americans, Europeans, everybody loves coffee. Okay. But one study found that over 160 million Americans drink coffee regularly, but roughly 2/3 of those people add sugar, milk, cream, and other additives. If you are using Coffee Mate, this is just me, I have to say it, whatever, this is just my personal opinion, but you could totally find any kind of professional studies on this and do the research. That's all I got to say. Don't use Coffee Mate. Stop using Coffee Mate. So bad for you. But What does that mean? It means that most of your coffee, if you're picking it up in the morning, is basically sneaking in extra calories that you don't even know is there. So if you figure how I used to do, if I went to Starbucks 2-3 times a day and I was spending $400 to $500 a month at Starbucks, I'm not even making this up. This is how I used to be at Starbucks on a regular basis. And then they got all corporate crazy on me. And for personal reasons, I decided to make a stand. I did not believe in what Starbucks believed in and what they were touting. So I always support what I support in my firm belief. So I stopped going unless I had to go because there was nothing else around. But I don't like to it's not my regular stop. I won't spend the money I did. I was a gold card user before people knew gold cards existed. But it is nasty. So a tall latte from Starbucks has 204 calories, and brace yourselves, peeps, 14.4 grams of sugar. 14.4 grams of sugar. And if you compare that with a cup of brewed coffee, okay, or an Americano, okay, let's say, well, Americano. That contains fewer, okay? They have calories, obviously, but fewer than 15 calories. So simply switching to a black coffee can cut extra calories from your diet, but without sacrificing, your caffeine fix. Here's the deal. If you say, I can't drink coffee, Denise, if it doesn't have a bunch of sugar and cream in it, then you don't like coffee. So find another drink. I'll never understand that. That was me. Like, why? I like coffee. But do you, Denise? You're eating all these fancy schmancy, venti, pull over 6, double scoop, double pump, whatever. Do you really like coffee? And then I found out I really didn't like Starbucks coffee because it's horrible. So then I started making coffee at home and experimenting with different companies and different, all these sustainable and individual family owned coffees from like around the country. And I'm like, wow, okay, I do like coffee. Do I add stuff to my coffee? I do, but it's usually coconut sugar and oat milk. But sometimes, like when I'm on cleanses and stuff, if I want coffee, I'll just drink it black because I like coffee. You know what I'm saying? Number 9, avoid sugary soda. Okay, guys, if you want to be healthy, you got to avoid the sugary drinks. And in all honesty, I'm going to say something now that's going to really piss a lot of people off. Diet drinks and zero drinks are poison. They're worse than drinking the actual regular version of whatever you're drinking. Dr. Pepper, Coke, Pepsi, whatever, pick one, okay? I stopped drinking soda because if I have just one, I used to convince my Coca-Cola, that's my poison, okay? It contains 0 essential nutrients. They're loaded with sugar and dyes. So for instance, I can only talk about Coke because that's what I drank. It contains 39 grams of sugar. Let me explain something so I can give you a visual. That is 10 teaspoons of white sugar. Blech. I mean, like what? Yeah. 10 teaspoons of sugar. And everyone's like, but it only has 70 calories. Stop counting calories, people. It's so antiquated. Okay? It's antiquated. Unless you are working out or you have an essential routine or bodybuilding or you're doing something that it requires a physicality of you exerting and spending so much energy that you need to make sure you're fueling your body. You play a pro sport, you do whatever. Don't worry about calories, okay? If you're eating properly, that will not make a difference and you're moving properly. But the pop, oh, see, you can tell I'm from the Midwest. We call it pop. We call it pop. Some people call it soda. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Stop drinking it. I used to convince myself that if I wanted a Coke, I would send Mr. Sith to McDonald's because McDonald's has the best Coca-Cola ever. Okay. And nobody will fight me on that. I will fight you on that if you disagree, but I'm just saying. And I would convince myself that was like my treat. And then all I'd want to do was go to like buy a 12 pack of Coke and drink it all in 3 days. I can't. So I started doing like, when I want like fruity stuff, I do Olipop, which is like a probiotic drink, that's fizzy. And then, when I want, like pop, like sometimes you eat certain stuff, you have to have pop. I know this sounds weird, but so when I have pizza, I have to have soda. It's just a thing. I don't know why. It's probably just totally in my head. So I have a Soda Stream, which carbonates beverages for you, I guess, is the only way to say it, carbonates water. And so I use Jing soda drops. And if you don't know, Jing, I don't get anything from them either. I just really like them. However, if Jing wants to do something with me, I'd be more than happy to represent them because I love their stuff. But they have a cherry Coke drop. It's basically made of like mushrooms and it's a healthy dose of like all that stuff. So also, if you are taking an MLM that says that they have all these beneficial mushrooms and whatever, and there's no proof of any of that, you could just order some Jing soda drops. And they actually have tests of their actual product. Just saying. But if you drink a lot of soda, okay, opt for a healthier beverage. Unsweetened sparkling water. I don't know, add a lemon, add a cucumber, add some basil and blueberries, spice it up. We talked in the past about water and all the stuff you could do with it, right? Also, the acids in soft drinks can damage your teeth, all right? Especially with all the sugar in it. It's really nasty. Number 10, always keep healthy snacks in reach. Have them. Cravings are the biggest killer in healthy eating. And our cravings come from a desire from your body, a need. Okay, so when we say, oh, I have such a taste for pretzels, your body is craving salt. And if it's craving salt, that means there's certain deficiencies in your body, and our current diet and programming make us think that we need pretzels or potato chips or something salty. But in actuality, if you Google, what does it mean when I have a salt craving? It will tell you what you're actually missing in your diet. So it's not as easy as we think. And we have the same thing with sugary cravings and then sour cravings. They all mean something. I can't go through what they are because they could be anything. So with salt cravings, they could be anything from chronic stress to migraine to dehydration to Addison's disease. It could be a ton of stuff. So it's not as easy as it says. You have to look and see what applies to you. But healthy snacks are huge, okay? 50% of people have food cravings on a regular basis. And this can make unhealthy foods really desirable, right? Because they're convenient and they're right there. But if you stock your pantry with healthy snacks, it's going to help you fight the cravings when they arise. So, and you could pre-portion stuff too. So I won't just eat out of a bag. I always take like a bag of popcorn or a bag of like nuts or seeds. I will take those and I will put them into a smaller bowl and then close the bag up and put it away. And then this way, when it's time, I'm snacking, I'm eating a portion, because you can eat a healthier snack, but if you eat the whole bag of it, that's not helping you. And if you don't know what a portion is, I know this is crazy, you could turn the bag around or the container and it will tell you. It's crazy. They actually tell you. We don't know this, especially as Americans. We like to just plunge into a bag and go at it till it's done. Keep healthy snacks anywhere you need it. Okay, if you need to bring them with you in the car or in your purse, then that's what you do. Okay, healthy snacks, nuts, fruit, dark chocolates. I know, right? Crazy, but there's a whole bunch. If you're at home, cut up cucumbers, dip them in like a homemade ranch. There's tons of stuff you can do. Buy a healthy ranch. You don't have to make it. Buy a healthy one. All right, we're moving along. 11, because I got too many. Drink a glass of water with every meal. If you are not drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water, we've said this how many times, my friends, you're not doing your body a service, okay? Because water is important for your health. Drinking enough water helps maintain healthy brain function, concentration, and a positive mood. All right. Water also can help you lose weight by helping you keep you full. All right. But it will increase how many calories you burn because your car can't run efficiently without the proper gas, just like your body can't have a proper metabolism if it's not hydrated. Okay. So if you find it hard to drink water, just try having a glass with each meal and work your way up from there, because that ensures that you're at least getting, right, 3 glasses of water at 3 meals and 2 snacks and a treat at the end of the day. Yeah. I just said you could have dessert. Holy smokes, right? Yeah, you can have dessert. I'm not asking you to eat a package of Oreos, but there are tons of things. I just saw something the other day. It was bananas that were halved and then cut in half, right? So then there was like long. So take a banana, cut it in half, and then cut it in half, okay? And then, so it had a flat side. And then they put peanut butter on that and then melted some dark chocolate chips and then like melted that over it. And then sprinkled it with like a little sea salt and then put them in the freezer. Shut your mouth. I totally want those. I'm going to make them. 12, make a grocery list before you shop. When I was doing holistic nutrition at home, I can't even tell you how I found it mind blowing that people go to the store without a grocery list. I have a running list of every store that I shop at on a piece of paper in my kitchen. Even the stuff like Amazon and Chewy for the dogs, and it's Pet Supplies Plus for the dogs. I run that list. And as I buy stuff, I just cross it off. And then when I get to the next week, I flip the page, I do it all over again. A grocery list is a powerful tool that can help you eat healthier, especially never go to the store hungry, because you will buy everything that you do not need to have. Okay. The list will help you remember what you have at home. It will help you plan for healthier food in advance, and it gets rid of the impulse buys. But studies have shown that people who use grocery lists are more likely to eat healthy and carry less weight. Well, I want to be a part of that study. I mean, I'm less weight than I was last year, you know? It just, and then also know that when you shop, you should never be in the middle of the grocery store, ever. And let me tell you why, because it's all processed synthetic food. It's the garbage. The only thing we need is on the outside perimeter of the store. Fruits, veggies. Think about it. There's even a dairy section. Eggs, right? Think about it. Meat, the butcher section, the bakery section. You don't need anything in the middle. I hardly ever go down the middle aisles unless I'm looking for like canned organic chickpeas or, stuff like that. It's rarely should you be major shopping in the middle of a grocery store. Think about that next time you're there and look at the difference of what's in the middle aisles, because that's where they got you. That's where they know you're lost, and they lure you into those aisles by putting stuff on the end of the aisles that are on sale, but then they put a crappy flavor or something choice so that you'll walk down to see what else is offered. Think about that. Shop on a full stomach. That's number 13. See, I thought about that right away. Shopping on an empty stomach is a disaster if you're trying to be healthy. Okay? In fact, okay, my friend, studies have shown that people tend to buy more high-calorie foods when they shop on an empty stomach. And if you shop after a meal, not only are you more likely to avoid impulse buys and unhealthy buys, you're going to probably save money too. And I guarantee you in today's day and age, you're going to save money. Okay? Because you can buy a salad right now at any store in America and it costs maybe about $65. It's insane. If you want to buy all the ingredients for like a healthy salad, it could cost you about $65. That's insane. $65? I could feed myself for a week on that in college. I'm just saying. This strategy works better when combined with a grocery list, like I'd mentioned earlier. So have that list. Don't be hungry. 14, choose real foods over highly processed foods. Okay? Because people out here in the West, Western countries, that's us, America, we're eating more highly processed foods than ever before. Okay? That's why we're so out of weight. We look disgusting. Well, unprocessed foods, I get that they're convenient. Okay? They lack nutrients and they increase your risk of chronic disease, period. From all of the synthesization, because they're synthesized. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say that really quick, like 5 times. It's hard to do that. So we don't want to be in that area. Okay. Simple eating, real foods will help you get healthier, minimal effort. Okay. Real foods have more fiber. They're packed with more vitamins. They're packed with more minerals. This is what you need to do. You need to make sure that you're buying foods that don't, how do you know? Everyone's like, what's a processed food, Denise? This is where we're at today, where we can't identify real food from a processed food. And I actually had a conversation with someone the other day over, like, I know, do I buy it on occasion? Absolutely, out of convenience. Okay. But I don't personally am not the one that usually uses it. Okay. It's usually for like Pete or Mr. Sith or whatnot. But shredded cheese. I prefer a brick of cheese and I'll shred it if I need it, or I'll cut it in chunks or whatnot. Because mostly I'm going to do like an Italian imported Parmigiano Reggiano, or I'm going to do a goat cheese. I prefer those. Okay. But I will tell you that if you get a shredded cheese, even like I buy Tillamook. I like Tillamook. It's my thing. And if you look at it, what should it have in it? Cheese. If you look at your shredded cheese, it's not just shredded cheese. There's starch in there and other ingredients to help it from clumping and getting all stuck together. So it's not just cheese. So know that if you want to eat cheese, you want to buy cheese, okay? It's okay to eat healthy, but you got to steer yourselves toward the brine cheeses, the goat cheeses, the sheep cheeses, and get away from the dairy cheeses that are highly processed, okay? So it's just the processed foods are killer. How do you determine what a processed food is? If it comes in a package from a company with a name on it, it's processed. If it come from the ground or an animal, and that's debatable depending on where you shop, because meat is a whole nother story and a whole nother podcast, but we're just sticking with the simple plan here today, peeps. You want to stick with if you're buying meat, I prefer to go to the butcher. I don't like to buy things pre-done. We still have meat when we do eat it because we buy direct to farm, or find a butcher that does that. That can cut it for you on demand. Nowadays, you're going to be paying no premium to do that. And none at all. In my area, it costs the same amount to go to a small family-owned like butcher than it will to go to a regular store, a grocery store. And just ask for organic, preferably organic, non-GMO fed, grass-fed beef. Or, you're not going to get, obviously, grass-fed pork. Pork is pork. Pigs eat stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you could have organic pork. All right. It's going to taste different. Organic chicken that's pastured properly. And I don't mean pasteurization. I mean chickens are on the grass and they eat stuff. Those chickens look way different than chicken you buy in the store. Don't think that's true. Look at an egg that from a friend or somebody on that you know that has chickens. Look at one of their eggs and then go buy a white egg at the store and see the difference when you crack it open. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Real foods are single ingredient foods that are mostly unmodified. Listen to me. I said mostly because sometimes they must add additives in order to be sold in the store because the government requires it. And they lack any chemical additives. Okay. Apples, bananas, spinach, brown rice, whole eggs, that kind of stuff. Okay. 15, practice mindful eating. Okay. What is mindful eating? Because we're keeping it simple. All right. Mindful eating is a very powerful tool that will help you eat healthier with minimal effort. Okay. So it's based on the concept of mindfulness and helps you pay attention to what you're eating, right? Why are you eating and how fast you are eating? So we recently are having an issue with Peter just shoving his face full of food. And from what I understand from all my awesome moms out here is that that's pretty much a thing. Okay. For boys around his age, I cannot stand it. We had ramen the other day. He shoved so much ramen in his mouth so fast. Then he decided he was full. I'm like, wow, does your body even know you're full? Because I don't even think you swallowed. And then we realized he was pretty much just swallowing. And he literally had it come back up on him at the table in the bowl. Gross as shit, isn't that? Right? Meanwhile, my poor niece is sitting across from him on the table, has a totally weak stomach, and she's like looking like she's going to chuck her brains up herself after watching him do it back in his bowl. I'm like, I can't right now. Mindfulness is, why are you eating? How fast are you eating? What are these tastes with? Thankfulness for what being able to have that food. Okay. Many studies show that mindful eating can help you lose weight because it's really helping you understand why you're consuming these foods. Okay. Mindful eaters eat food slowly. They chew thoroughly, something Americans struggle with. Dudes, I'm struggling with this in my own house with people in my house. Okay. Chew thoroughly. In bites. I always tell people, like, right now, I feel like I can pretty much nail that anytime somebody cuts a piece of food, even when I'm in a restaurant, I'm always like, please cut that in half again. Please cut that in half again. As I'm watching them lift it to their mouth, please cut that in half again. Please. And they're not. And then it's like, and I'm like, oh God, ew. And then all that's going to dump down in your stomach. Like, how is that supposed to trigger any digestion and fullness? It's overtaxed. We're overtaxing our system. You should cut a bite, put your utensil, your knife down, eat from your fork, put your fork down. People think I'm nuts. This is why you're supposed to eat. And then you're supposed to chew, swallow, drink, and then pick up your utensils for another bite. Not cut, eat, cut, eat, cut, eat, cut, eat, drink, my mouth's still full. I can't stand that either. When people are drinking and your mouth still has food in it, please stop. I've always been this way about food, even prior to me going into a profession that had anything to do with food. Okay. So eat food slowly, chew thoroughly, focus on how you feel when you're eating. Are you actually hungry? I have found that when I do that, I'm leaving a lot of food on my plate. And then I'm realizing and making the correlation that I was given way too much food anyway. Remember the other day I told you guys we went out and I wanted something sweet and I had such a taste. We were coming home from the wedding and I'm like, I had a taste for pancakes. And he's like, I think we just passed an IHOP. That's probably why I got a taste for pancakes. I'm like, well, Mr. Sith, I need pancakes. I want something sweet pancakes. So I wanted like fancy schmancy pancakes. So we went to our favorite place, right? Syrup here in Algonquin. And I ordered the cinnamon swirl pancakes. All right. What I didn't realize was that they were to come drenched with this cream cheese syrup that they make. It was too much. I cut the pancakes in half. I ate half, but I also had like scraped off all the stuff, but it had absorbed a little into the top pancake. It was too much. I was like, oh man. All right. So literally once so now I'm like, okay, I would order that again, but I would ask for that syrup to be on the side. And then I always just cut it in half now and I'll bring it home. You could pack it immediately if that's a problem. If you don't know how to stop, and that happens, I didn't at first either. You cut your food in half, especially if you're eating out in America, and then just ask them for a to-go container. Like they bring you your food and you're like, yeah, is there anything else I can get you? Yes. Could you get me a to-go container? Period. You didn't even cut into your food yet. Then they bring you the container. You cut everything on your plate in half or split it in half. You put it into the to-go container, out of sight, out of mind. Now you're at least dealing with probably a semi-normal portion. And then go from there. Okay. And definitely if you are at home or at the restaurant, turn off the TV and put your phone away. I'm okay with you taking pictures of your food. Do what you got to do. But I am not a fan of people just hanging out with their fucking phones at a table. We were watching somebody the other day when we were at Syrup. And there were 3 sons and a mom and a dad. The sons came later, so I'm guessing they might have come from an event at the local high school or something, or maybe the hotel, because there's a hotel right there. And the parents were already eating, which I thought was kind of weird. They didn't wait for their kids, but maybe like when my kid's a teenager, I'm not going to wait for him either. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that yet. So no shame, no judgment, whatever. They were both eating, the mom and the dad. Okay. And then the 3 boys showed up. They all ordered copious amounts of food, might I add, and didn't eat half of it. They didn't even eat a quarter of it. They ate like a couple bites of these humongous like omelets and then just like left it there. Not a single one of them did not have their phones. All 5 of them. And they just sat on their phones, and that is poor for digestion. You do not need to be looking at your phone while you're at a table. You should be interacting with your family while you're at the table. Period. And you don't need the TV on. And you know what? I'm guilty of this, not me personally, but I don't watch TV because I can't hear it even when I'm in front of it. So there's that. But I sometimes will allow it to be on, and I already know that Peter's jerking around. So I wind up having Mr. Sith turn it off. Number 16, eating sitting down. This sounds ridiculous, right? But I will tell you right now, my father eats standing up all the time over the sink. Made me sick when I was a kid, makes me sick now. Just saying. There's a lot of fast-paced society, okay? There's a lot going on in society. Everybody's fast-paced. People are always eating on the go. I get that, right? You got to be somewhere. You're in the car, whatever. But research shows that eating on the go affects your ability to process hunger signals because it doesn't know what's going on. So, for instance, there was a study with 60 women that discovered that people consumed more food and overall calories if they ate while walking. Think about that. Sitting down helps you eat mindfully. Okay. So if you combine it with those other tips, it'll do that. Okay. Sitting down helps your body process hunger signals better, and you will eat less food overall, because it understands that you're sitting down to eat. It also aids in digestion. Let me tell you why. Because the moment you start chewing, your digestion process effectively begins. It starts a peristalsis, which is a movement of the internal systems, meaning it starts with the esophagus. It goes all the way down to the belly. Everything's kind of moving like a snake does, right? It's squeezing everything down, and it's in a movement, right? Your belly, your intestines, all the way to the rectum, where eventually the final, piece de la resistance is the final squeeze out of the rectum where you're doing your poop. Okay. If you are not, pooping regularly, there is a problem with peristalsis or with fiber or with both. Okay. But if you're not sitting down and properly eating and resting down and just swallowing everything, your peristalsis doesn't get an effective or a way to effectively work to trigger all of the hormonal hunger signals that it needs to do. 7, go for a walk during your breaks. All right. If you can do this, don't tell me that you can't do this. And so it's not, I get that. All right. For me, I will force myself to do housework, laundry. Am I feeling 100%? Absolutely not. But I need to move. So therefore, if I get up and I do laundry, I'm going up and down 4 flights of stairs. I'm moving. I'm actively getting up, down, and it's something. Because finding time to exercise is a real problem for many people around the world, especially when you work. Okay? But regular exercise is important to be healthy. And there's plenty of evidence that shows that a lack of exercise is linked with poor mental and physical health, period. That said, there's a lot of ways to fit exercise into your day, even with a busy schedule, okay? Walks during your lunch break. Lots of people do that. When I worked corporate world, tons of people, and I used to sit there and go, God, they're nuts. Because I would rather just go out for lunch and like have a conversation with my pals, that kind of stuff. So I was like, God, look at them people walking every day. But there was a study, 56 people walked for 30 minutes, 3 times a week during their lunch breaks. And this improved their enthusiasm and relaxation at work while also reducing nervousness. All right. And moving along to number 18. Oh, I knew it was going to be a long one, friends. But all for a good cause. 18, take the stairs instead of the elevator. All right. I've been doing this to some capacity, meaning I have handicap parking. And unless I'm feeling super, super horrible, I'm trying to park further down the line than I normally would. Taking stairs, walking a little further to the door is literally the simplest way you can add exercise to a daily routine. For me, it's just adding extra steps to the day, but that's also great for your long-term health because research has shown that people who climb at least 80 flights of stairs daily have a 33% lower risk of death than people who spend most of their time sitting. We have to know at this point in 2024 that sitting all day is not good for us. If you're in an office, you got to get up, you got to move around, you got to do stuff like that. Okay. And taking the stairs is actually usually faster than taking the elevator. Now I can usually go down the stairs. I have trouble going up the stairs, but when we travel in Europe or whatnot, we have no issues, or I have just been, you got to grin and bear it and go the extra mile. And because most of the apartments and places that you're going to stay there and hotels are all stairs. It's very rare that you would have an elevator. So one study discovered that on average, taking the stairs was 23.5 seconds faster per flight of stairs. And that includes the average wait time for an elevator. So there's that. I know when we were staying in Niagara, it took forever for the elevator to come during peak times at the hotel. We did pretty good because we left either early or we came home later or earlier than most people did. So we didn't have any issues, but apparently it was a huge deal at the hotel. Everybody talked about it. But if you're constantly moving between levels of your office, if you're working, taking the stairs can help improve your fitness, but also your productivity because you're moving, that blood is pumping. Same thing, premise that I do here. I don't want to sit too long, so I'll do laundry. I'll get up and sweep. I'll get up and vacuum. Go out and check the mail. Get up and move around. You can even do this at home. 19, try using a standing desk. I personally cannot do that. However, I do have a custom desk that was made per my dimensions. Mr. Sith is not like using it because he says it's too high, which is interesting because I think it would correct his posture. And he's complaining way too much for someone of his young age, that he has really bad neck and lower back problems, to the point where, like, the other day he was doing some maintenance to the fridge, right? Cleaning it out, changing the filter for the water, blah, blah, blah. And Peter comes running in my office and he's like, Dad, I can't get up off the floor. He stuck his back. And I'm like, wait, what happened? He threw out his back. Wait, what? No, he's just so incredibly postured wrong. He has really bad posture. IT, gaming, that's what happens, right? If you don't know how to sit in a chair, or you're hunched over a, laptop or your phone or a remote all day, you blow out your neck and your lower back muscles. And he didn't blow out his back, but he's in really poor shape, as are we all in this household. And we're trying to take steps to fix this. So, if you spend 15 hours a day sitting, okay, that's the average. An average office worker spends 15 hours a day sitting. So that's home, work, blah, 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 right? In comparison, an agricultural worker sits about 3 hours a day. So unfortunately, okay, research always shows that the people who sit have the higher risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and death. So a standing desk kind of keeps you on your feet a little bit longer. For me, I adjusted it to be at a higher level, and I only sit for so long, and then I get up and I do something. If you're not sure when you should do that, set a clock. Do what's right for you. Notice and listen to your body when it needs to get up, okay? But it's pretty rare. But the standing desk is a big issue right now. I guess apparently it's a big deal. Like, people like using them. And you know what? If that's you, you do it. 20, unplug from technology an hour before bed. Well, I'm going to be really honest with you, friends. I'm pretty much done with technology at this point. I'm fed up with social media. I've been struggling with it. We talked about this last week a little bit. Quality sleep is absolutely essential for optimal health, okay? But roughly 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from poor sleep. I'm raising my hand because I'm one of them. Now, one of the things is that it seems that technology, okay, and other sources of artificial light are a big reason for poor sleep. Now, I have been making it a deal to kind of go to bed at a regular time. For me, sometimes I'm more productive at night when everybody is sleeping. Sometimes I will do that. I am always productive at night when everybody is sleeping. Sorry, not sorry. But the devices themselves emit blue light. If you're not familiar with blue light, it's a type of light wave that's like common during the day. But that means that your devices, if you're on them at night, are tricking your brain to think it's daytime. I think there's like screens and glasses you can use to help eliminate that, so that you can at least go mentally wire yourself into that it's nighttime. Not to mention that research has shown that using artificial light before bed is linked with a higher risk of breast cancer, mood disorders, and depression. So we wonder why we live in a day and an age with 2 going into possibly 3 generations of new young people who are chronically in these mood disorders, depressions, and whatnot. And it's because these are the generations that flipped 100% to screen time, right? So screen time at school, screen time. Now, I'm thankful that there is not screen time at Peter's new school. So they are going to do computer work, but not all day. They're not going to be doing lessons from their thing. It's books, okay? That was a big thing with us choosing this school, because in the public school locally here, they all have tablets, and then they have computer time, and then they do reading time, and that's also on a computer. And then they come home and they're on the computer, and then they're on the TV. And then they're playing games, and then they have their tablet or phone time, and then they do it all night before they go to bed because they need it to put them to sleep. But if you're watching it, you're literally only falling asleep at night. Some children and teens and early 20ers, okay, are only fall asleep if their phone is on and their body physically just turns off because they're so exhausted. Not healthy. Not healthy. Which is why we have very strict bedtime with Peter. 8:30, 9 o'clock, no later, unless it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now that school's starting, that's going to be strictly enforced. Avoiding technology an hour before bed may help improve your quality of sleep. For me, it's certain little things that I have to do to help bring myself down, read a book, whatever. For me, it's turning off my brain, which it is for a lot of people, especially women. 21, sleep at the same time every night. I'm working on this, peeps. I'm working on it. Because besides poor sleep quality, a lot of people struggle to fall asleep. It leaves you exhausted. You feel like you're a snail all day. And it increases your risk of chronic diseases like heart risk and, again, type 2 diabetes. Are we kind of seeing that there is a similarity in how we live our lives with heart disease and type 2 diabetes, which are rapidly on the incline in the United States? One of the biggest culprits is not having a regular sleep schedule. I am guilty of this, okay? Because as a mom and a A-type personality, OCD, I'm also ADHD, but opposite spectrum. I'm like detail oriented, completely opposite of low spectrum ADHD. It's crazy, right? But if you have a set bedtime, it helps train your body's internal clock to fall asleep faster at a certain time. And I do notice that when I abide to that strictly, I get tired. What I have noticed recently is when I pick and choose those days where I'm going to stay up because I want to get something done after everybody goes, that I'm drifting and I fight it, which is wrong. I should not be fighting because I'm screwing up my internal clock. So set sleep schedules can also help improve your concentration and your memory. I'll keep you posted on that. I've got about 9,000 things wrong with me that interrupt concentration and memory. It's all a work in progress. Okay. And last but not least, 22, try regular meditation. You guys can laugh at this all you want, but stress takes a major toll on our overall health. And research has shown that meditation, not medication. Oh my God, I can't believe that just slipped out. Meditation, like Om, okay, is an effective way to alleviate stress and improve overall health. Okay. So there was an analysis of 47 studies total with over 3,500 people, okay, that discovered that mindful meditation helped reduce anxiety, depression, and stress. And I'm like, sign me the frick up. You know what I'm saying? Sign me up. But meditation is a great way to relieve stress. And if you incorporate it into your daily routine, even just a couple times a week, you're going to receive benefits from it. So I do my meditation in the morning before I even leave my bedroom. And I do it at the same time that I'm also scheduling in my daily devotional. So it's super important to me. Okay. That's what we discussed today. 22 tips. It was a long one, peeps. We went for like an hour, 20 minutes. But bottom line is being healthy is easier than we think. Okay. There is a simple plan. And there are many ways that can help you get healthy with minimal effort. It doesn't have to be hard. Okay. Not at all. So until Saturday, when we hit up another coffee talk, until then, you lead with kindness and have a great week. Bye.